Hi guys, it's Ken here. Just before you go into this podcast short, just to remind you that I have my new website, which is gab2.com. You can connect with other English learners around the world with audio and video chat rooms. And at the moment, there are 3 free conversation classes every week. So I'd love to have you there at these drop-in classes. So check it out, gab2, gabtoo.com. See you then. Hey everyone, it's Ken here. This is a podcast short with Teacher Will, Teacher Lily and myself, Ajarn Ken. And we were asked about the word diplomatic and how to explain it correctly. Got some great conversation in here about using diplomatic and how being diplomatic is very important in English learning and English language culture. So check it out, this podcast short. Here's I guess this is like an intermediate type of word, intermediate English. Diplomatic. What's the meaning of diplomatic in a simpler way? For me, I guess diplomatic means that you say something, but you take someone else's feelings into account when you say it. Yeah. For example, don't say, Ken, you're very fat. You would say, Ken, you are big boned, or something like that, you know. So you take their feelings into consideration, or their point of view into consideration before you say it, I guess. Yeah. Would that be fair enough?
It's a good example.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. What would your meaning of diplomatic be, Will? How would you
I would agree with you. The only other word I could say is something that's measured, something that's nuanced, measured, respectful.
Mm-hmm. Respectful. Good one. Yeah. Good one. Yeah. What examples could you give?
Instead of oh wow, see, you took my thing about bit fat, because I was like, I haven't been to the gym because of Corona. So what would I say? Okay, instead of saying, for example, instead of saying, this is very direct, instead of saying like, hey, you know what, you're as an example, I don't mean this, is first thing in my mind, you're dumb, you're stupid, right? A diplomatic way of saying that could be, it's like, hey, you know what? I do think that you have the opportunity to apply yourself more.
Ooh, very diplomatic.
Very diplomatic.
Very diplomatic.
You know, and I think that's actually a good point, very quickly. I think that's a good point as it relates to giving feedback to learners, particularly understanding culture.
Yeah. Because
in certain societies that you're in, it's that, you know, certainly with all teachers, it's kind of like, you know what? I don't believe in the word stupid as a teacher, right? Yeah. So even if I did, there's a way to communicate that. I think you can apply yourself more. Are there any difficulties that you're running in? Because oftentimes I've been a witness to physically or looking at content on social media, and certainly people have the right to do anything we want. But in certain cultures, teachers are extremely respected. I'm sure both where you live in the Asian culture and similarly to where I live. So it's being mindful of the words that you say. Yeah. As we as teachers, or let me make an I statement. The words are very powerful. And so I have to be mindful in terms of giving feedback to be diplomatic, even though I might just think that learner is crazy. Right? So I think it's important, if anyone's listening to the call, either learners or teachers, is to ask themselves the question, what words are they using? Are they in the diplomatic way? Because certain words as stupid or lazy or dumb, can impact a student, particularly, and it's not their native language. And I can relate to that, when I was in way back in the day, there were teachers that called me dumb and stupid, and I used that as an empowering thing, but I'm not going to sit back and say that didn't hurt or that didn't have an impact. I don't want to say about bullying or whatever, but I think that's really important, that when giving feedback, as we as teachers, or at least I as a teacher, have a responsibility to be mindful of the words that I use.
Absolutely.
Dumb and stupid or no, because I've heard content providers use it and I'm like, okay, that's your choice.
And that actually says more about them than it does about the student, to be honest.
Truly. No, it does. It certainly does, Teacher Ken. Last point is that it does. I mean, ultimately, you know, it's on that person that's delivering them, but do they understand or have they thought about the impact that that has? You know, I mean, you have people that we all have different social medias, and some of these learners view us as quote unquote gods, or we're not, but they view us as gods, or we make no mistakes. So at least for me, when I see that, I just, it makes me mindful.
Yeah, cool. Lily, what about you? Diplomatic.
Okay, so I would say that the word diplomatics has several meanings, right? So the first meaning is when it involves something with like relationships between two countries,
Yeah.
like diplomatic negotiations, right? And then there is another meaning, which is diplomatic, meaning to be very careful when you say something so it doesn't cause an offense.
Right.
So be nice, be diplomatic.
I think that's
or the opposite of politically correct.
Indeed, yeah, indeed.